Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So it actually feels like ages since I've sat down and done like a talking video for you guys. I'm not sure which video is going up first, but my most recent video I filmed was more of like a vlog style, which was so much fun, and I filmed that for UEA. So I'm not sure if that's already going to be up by the time this goes up or not, but when it does go up I will put a link in the description of this video, so definitely go and check that out because that was so much fun to film, especially if you're thinking of going to UEA. It was basically doing a little explore of Norwich, doing some activities and showing you the city. So today I have got another uni video for you guys because I think this one will help a lot of you out. I'm going to be telling you everything you need to take to uni. I know it might seem a little bit early still at the moment. I think it was around this time 2 years ago when I was thinking of what I needed to get for uni, and I was starting to go to IKEA and get all my bits and bobs. So I wanted to make sure this video was up with plenty of time for you to watch before you go out and buy all your uni supplies. I also think it's a good idea to get it sorted sooner rather than later. You might think like, oh, I've still got ages, like uni doesn't tend to start until like the end of September, some of them don't even start until October, but I think it's definitely better to get organised quickly because what you might also find is towards the end of summer, all of like the supplies go out of stock because everyone's frantically trying to buy folders and paper and books and stuff all at the same time. So it's just better to get it done as soon as possible, get it out of the way with, and then you don't have to stress. Honestly, it will make your life so much easier. I am talking from experience because there was a few things that I got very last minute, and it's very stressful if you don't think you're going to be able to find it in time. So in this video I'm going to be telling you things to bring, kind of a few things that are a bit more like out of the ordinary, things that you might not have thought of. I will also mention like the obvious things as well, and I'll leave a full list of everything I mention in the description box in case you want to like tick anything off. And I've put this video together on experience of things that I did bring and I found really helpful, and also stuff that I didn't bring and I really wish that I had have done. So hopefully this video will be so useful for you guys. So let's just get into it. So the first few things that I've got are kind of like random items that you probably don't really think about, but honestly, like if you have them, it's a lifesaver. Number one on my list is hangers. Oh my god, just however many hangers you think you need for your clothes, times that by 10, because you will never be able to have enough hangers. Honestly, it's something that I didn't even really think about when I went to uni. Like we packed up all of my clothes and we took a lot of clothes like off the hangers and packed them, and I just completely forgot to bring the hangers with me. I don't know what I thought I was going to do with them at the other end, so we had to frantically go into town on the day that I moved in and buy a load of hangers from Tiger because I had nowhere to put my clothes. Also, a good tip for moving in day, I might do a whole video of tips for moving in day, but just while I'm on the subject, when you pack your clothes, keep as many of them on the hangers as you can. Honestly, it's so much easier rather than taking all of your clothes off the hanger, packing them in a suitcase and then unpacking them at the other end. But yeah, the point is bring lots and lots and lots of hangers. The next item that is an absolute must for uni, and honestly I think this is the one item that I could not live without, other than my phone obviously, and that is a pair of sliders. Oh my god, I wasn't even going to bring my sliders, but I cannot tell you how grateful I was to have them there. I never walk anywhere in my uni house or my uni flat without my sliders on because honestly you don't realise how filthy your floor is going to get, like the communal areas, the kitchen, the living space, it just gets disgusting. So you'll be so grateful to have a pair of sliders on your feet, and it's also a lot easier than putting on your shoes every single time you go in the kitchen. Honestly, just buy yourself a pair of sliders, save yourself the hassle, because even walking on the floor in your socks I think is kind of gross. There was someone in my first year flat who used to walk around in bare feet, and honestly it grosses me out so much. I just could never ever do that. The next one is not an absolute essential, but I personally found it quite helpful, and that is a doorstop. This is especially good for moving in week because you can just like prop your door open, and while everyone's unpacking their stuff it means that you can kind of have a bit of an interaction with people. So as people walking past your door, they know that like you're happy to say hi and stuff, and it just makes it a bit more informal rather than like you having to walk into the kitchen later on and having to introduce yourself to like every single person all at once. It just means that you meet more people like as you unpack and stuff, which is quite nice. And also I would just use my doorstop in general if I was doing some work and like the rest of my flat were in, if I just wanted to keep my door open so you don't feel so like cut off. That's quite nice because then as people walk past and people go back to their rooms or to the kitchen or whatever, then you can just have a quick little chat, a little break from your work. So I just thought that was a really nice little thing to have. The next thing that I would highly recommend, which I did not do in my first year, is to bring a few essential food items and drink items, i.e. alcohol. The last thing that you're going to want to do in Freshers Week is go and do a full-on food shop. I literally brought no food with me. The only thing I had was cereal and milk. You just think, oh, I'll get stuff when I'm there, but there's a lot of stuff that you need to do on the day you move in, so setting up Wi-Fi, going and getting your keys. I feel like you'll just be so thankful to have a few basic food items, even if it's just like a few pizzas, some pasta. I literally did not bring anything with me and regretted it so much. So if you bring up a few food items with you, then it will save you the hassle. Also alcohol as well. I don't know what I was thinking. I'd brought a Freshers ticket, so I knew that I was going out at least like 5 nights of the week, and I don't know where I thought I was going to get all this alcohol from, but I literally brought 1 bottle of wine with me and a few tiny, you know, like the mini little Absolute vodka things, and that was gone in 1 night. So definitely stock up on the alcohol before you go. It also saves you from carrying it if you do go to the shops, because another thing I didn't really think of, you kind of have to walk everywhere at uni or bike everywhere at uni because you don't, well, most people don't have a car in their first year. So stock up on the alcohol, stock up on the food, and thank me later. The next one is an extension lead. You might not need this, but I thought I'd throw it in there anyway. I bought an extension lead, but turns out my room at uni actually had loads of plug sockets, so I didn't need to use it. But in my second year, I could not live without it because my plug sockets are in the weirdest place in my room, so I'm so glad I've got it. Check your room if you've been to see it and have any videos, have a look and see if you can spot where the plug sockets are, and it might just be worth investing in an extension lead anyway for 2nd and 3rd year, because 2nd and 3rd year uni houses are not all that. Next one I have down are command strips. This is if you want to hang any posters or any photos up or fairy lights or anything like that, and I just think they're so much better than blue tack. That being said, make sure that you take them off properly, because if you just yank them like I did, you will literally rip a chunk of paint out of your wall. How I didn't get charged for that, I'm not too sure, but just make sure you take them off properly afterwards. You're supposed to like pull it down. There's instructions on the back, I'm just an idiot and didn't read them. Yeah, I think command strips are a lot better than using blue tack or sellotape, because blue tack leaves little like wet marks on the wall. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, command strips, make sure that there's no marks if you take them off properly. That being the key point. You might also want to check if your room comes with a chair or not for your desk. Mine did, but some unis might not, so just check that, because if it doesn't come with one, then you'll probably want to buy that. Also a little lamp. Again, my room at UEA was really good for lighting, so I didn't need one, but it's something that I have got in my second year, so just check your room again, and it might be worth getting a little lamp if you're just chilling in bed at night, just so you don't have to like get up and walk over to turn the lights off before you go to sleep. You can just have a little lamp next to your bed and turn that off. Another good item that I would bring are little like Tupperware pots, just to like store your food in. I found that when I was at uni, on the rare occasions that I would actually cook a meal rather than just living off pizza and pasta, when I would cook a meal like a curry, or that's pretty much all I made. But maybe you're a chef and you can cook like fancy stuff, but whatever you cook, it's a really good idea to meal prep. So just cook it in bulk and then just store it in the freezer. So you kind of need something to put it in before you put it in the freezer. Again, not something that I even thought about, and it's something that I asked my mum to bring up when she came to visit, and they just really come in handy, not only for food storage in the freezer, but also if you're going out on day trips or anything like that, or if you want to bring like a packed lunch, then it's really handy to put food in those. Next one is a bottle opener. I think the lighting's just changed, I'm really sorry about that. We actually got little bottle openers given to us on move-in day as like a little key ring, so we were all fine for bottle openers, but it's a good idea to have if your uni doesn't give you that on move-in day. Just again, it's something that people don't really think about, but when you start going to pre's and stuff, you realise actually I mean, I don't drink beer, so to be fair, I didn't really need it, but bring a bottle opener. Next is a pack of cards or Uno or like a little board game or something like that. Some people in my flat did have little games, so that was fun. But if you do have any card games or Cards Against Humanity or anything like that, and your family's not using it, then you may as well just bring it with you, because if you're bored one night, then like people will probably be up for playing a little game, so it's just something handy to have. I would also bring a mini suitcase or like a sports bag or something. I travelled up with mini suitcases anyway, so I already had them at uni, but they're just really handy for if you want to go home for just a weekend, or if you want to go and visit someone else at uni or anything like that, then it's a lot easier than bringing like a massive suitcase with you. So just bring some kind of bag with you that has enough room that you could pack stuff for like a weekend. Next one is an umbrella. Again, not something that people really think about, but we are in the UK. It rains a hell of a lot. So just bring an umbrella, even if you don't think you're gonna need it. It's nice to know that it's there just in case. Also bring a little like first aid kit. I don't know why I didn't bring this with me, but it's just so handy to have, like just something in it that's got like plasters, paracetamol, maybe a little bandage or something. You might not think that you need it, but accidents happen. Like if you cut yourself or something, then you're gonna want a plaster. I remember I fell over one night and I cut my knee really badly, and no one in the flat had any plasters or anything. So just, it's really not difficult. Just pack a little mini first aid kit. Also paracetamol, ibuprofen, any kind of painkillers like that, you'll be so grateful for in Freshers Week, because the hangovers are like something I've never experienced before. They're bad. So just look after yourself. Next thing that I would bring is a reed diffuser. Again, this isn't an essential, but it's just a little personal touch, and I think it's just quite nice to have. I really like to get my reed diffusers from Next. If you live in the UK, maybe I'm biased because I used to work there, but I just feel like they're a really, really good price. They're really not that expensive, but they last a long time as well, and they have some really, really nice scents. So go check that out. Not an ad, by the way, I no longer work for Next. Also, I feel like this is a really good one. Bring a bin for your room. So I'm not sure what other unis are like, but at UEA you get given a recycling bin in your room, but you don't get a general waste bin. They have a general waste bin in the kitchen, which is obviously like anyone can use, but I feel like having a general waste bin in your room as well makes it so much easier, rather than having to like keep taking trips to the kitchen back and forth. And please don't put general waste in your recycling bins, because it's really bad for the environment. So just get a separate bin, and it makes it so much easier. You can also again get them really cheaply, so I'm definitely glad that I got a separate bin for my room. Next thing I'm going to go into is like kitchen stuff. A tin opener. I didn't bring a tin opener with me. Luckily someone in my flat did, but I can't believe out of 14 of us in the flat, only one person had a tin opener. So maybe you should try and be that one person that does have one. I mean, it might not be something that you need if you don't eat things that come out of a tin, but I eat quite a lot of tuna and sweet corn, so I needed one and I didn't have one. So that's definitely something handy to have if you like those kind of foods as well. Next is oven gloves. I mean, you've probably thought of this already, but you'd be surprised. I think out of 14 of us that lived in the flat, 12 of us, there was only 3 people that brought oven gloves with them. Surprisingly, I just assumed that everyone would bring a pair of oven gloves with them. That is actually something that I did bring with me. It might seem like I forgot a lot of stuff, but I did bring oven gloves, even though I rarely cook. Bin bags, you won't need one for the kitchen bin because that's all communal, but bin bags for the bin in your room, again, that makes it so much easier because you can just like tie up the bin and then take it to the kitchen and put it in the main bin. A tea towel. Again, I thought everyone would bring a tea towel with them, but not everyone did. And I liked to keep my tea towel separate. I know that might seem a bit like fussy, but the kitchen, well, my kitchen anyway, was so gross, and it seems like some people don't really know how to wash up, so it like all the tea towels would just get so gross. So I ended up putting mine in my cupboard so no one would use it. Stuff like plates, cutlery, saucepans, chopping boards, all stuff like that. Make sure you take all of that. Anything that I don't really think needs explaining, I'll also have in the description. So there might be a few more things in the description box compared to what I actually mentioned in this video. So do check that as well. But I just feel like there's no point in talking about kind of like the obvious stuff for too long, because this video could end up being so long otherwise. A garlic crusher. This is something that I didn't have and I really wish I did. Luckily someone in my flat did, but I like to make a lot of stir fries that have garlic in, and maybe it's just me, but I absolutely hate cutting garlic up because it just makes your fingers absolutely stink, and then I feel like all I can smell for the rest of the day is garlicky fingers, and it's not pleasant. It's something so simple, but if you do like to cook with garlic, then I definitely recommend you get a garlic crusher. It just saves your fingers from smelling, because that's not what you want on a night out, is it? Seasonings, so salt, pepper, maybe some paprika or whatever, and this just comes in handy to make your food a little bit less bland. I really liked chilli flakes actually. That was probably the thing I used the most. Like anytime I had pasta, just throw a few chilli flakes in there and it just adds a little bit something extra, you know, adds a little bit of spice.
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Also glasses as well, like drinking glasses. I'd also say like anything you bring 2 of. But in first year, like I had some friends come and visit and I realised that I didn't have enough of everything. Like I literally brought like 1 glass. So maybe just bring like 2 of everything, so you know if people come and visit or if one of them gets broken, then you've still got backups. Washing up gloves. If you don't really care about like dirt and stuff, then you probably don't need to bring them. But honestly, my washing up gloves were a saviour because it's just so gross, like the kitchen sink, and some people just don't do their washing up straight away and they leave it in the sink and it gets all gross and there's food everywhere. So I just feel like I was so glad to have some washing up gloves, but if you don't really care about stuff like that, then you probably don't, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. I'm just gonna go back to like random stuff now. That was kind of all my kitchen suggestions. So I would bring a speaker. If you don't have a speaker, I wouldn't go out and buy one because there's bound to be someone in your flat who does have one, but if you do have one lying around and your family don't mind you taking it, or it's yours anyway, then bring that with you because that's just really handy to have for pre's and stuff. A mattress protector. I am a really bad sleeper. I wake up all the time, so I was really glad to have a mattress protector, but again, you might not need it. Any decorations you want for your room, so like photo frames, posters, fairy lights, anything like that, just to make it a little bit more personal is always really nice. I've also put blue tack and sellotape on the list, but don't use them on the walls. I would just use them like on, if you've got wooden doors, obviously it's not going to take paint off if it's just wood. Or we had like some cupboards that were like, I don't know if they were plastic or not, but they were kind of like the material where you know that it's fine. No, it wasn't plastic, but I can't describe it, but just you can put blue tack and sellotape on surfaces that you know are not going to take the paint off. I also brought a printer with me, which I found really helpful. Printers can be a little bit expensive, so don't worry if you don't feel like you can buy that, but I just think it made it a lot easier having one in my room rather than having to go to the library all the time. If you do your notes on your laptop anyway, then it probably doesn't really matter. I still do notes by hand, and then I like to print out diagrams and stuff to stick in, so it was so easy just being able to do that with a printer in my room. Also, sometimes you might be asked to hand in work in person. At the moment with coronavirus, it's probably more likely to be online, at least for a little bit longer. But in my first year, quite a few of mine were handed in person. It just made it really easy being able to print it in my room. ID, again, it seems really simple, but a couple of people did forget to bring their ID. So don't be that person that can't go out in freshers because they forgot their ID. A washing basket. I would bring 2 washing baskets because sometimes the laundrette can be really far away. I was quite lucky because we had a laundrette like literally right outside our flat, but some people would have to walk not far but like fairly far to get to a laundrette. So rather than carrying all of your clothes down by hand because you're going to drop it, just put it in a basket and it makes it so much easier. And I would have 2 baskets because I would have one for my dirty stuff when I went to the laundrette and then a separate one to put my clean stuff in when I brought it back up. Sunglasses, again, if it's not sunny when you're moving in, it might not be something you think about, but a lot of you will probably be moving in late September, and sometimes the weather can actually still be really nice around then. Socks, again, obvious, but I don't just mean like bring a handful of socks. I mean, bring all of the socks that you own and then still buy more, because nobody really wants to do washing. I feel like uni students, I mean, maybe it's just me and I'm gross, but uni students kind of leave it as long as they can before they have to do a wash. And sometimes like you can go through like 2 pairs of socks a day. Like if you're out for the whole day and then you have a shower before you go out, then you'll probably change into a new pair of socks. So you actually go through like socks and underwear a lot more than you're going to realise. So I would just buy more than you think you need, because then you just won't have to do as many washes. Bring a calculator if your course needs one. Obviously some courses definitely won't need a calculator, but if you're doing like engineering or maths or environmental science, anything like that, then you probably will need a calculator. So just make sure you have one. Again, this is something that I forgot, which was so annoying. And calculators are expensive. They're literally like £5. Actually, that's not even expensive, but that's expensive for a uni student. I would also bring a weekly planner or a wall planner. I've spoken about these in a couple of other videos, but it just makes it a lot easier to kind of keep your life together. And then moving on to bathroom stuff. So you've got the obvious. Again, I'm not going to mention everything as it will all be in the description anyway. But a couple of things are razor, which you might just forget. It's so easy to forget your razor, but just make sure you've got that. Hairbrush. I don't know why I forgot my hairbrush, because it's a bit of a random thing to forget, but I did forget my hairbrush. So make sure you bring that. Washing liquid for clothes, something I completely didn't even cross my mind. And also I would recommend getting some colour catchers. So if you don't know what they are, they come in like a little red box, and you can just get them from the supermarket, and I'm not sure how much they are because my mum brought them for me, but they're so good. They're like little sheets, and it means that you can wash colours with anything. Like I literally put all of my colours in one, not my white stuff, I'll still do like a separate wash for that just in case, but all my other colours, I just put one of those sheets at the back of the washing machine, do your wash like normal, and it collects any of the colours that are going to run. So it just means that you don't have to do like a separate wash for each colour, you can just like bang everything in together. So those were all of my essentials of what to take to uni. I really hope you found this video useful. As I've said before, there will be a full list in the description down below, so you can just like tick things off. But I thought there's no point in me mentioning things like clothes and toothbrush because they're pretty obvious. So hopefully I've given you some things that you might not have thought about taking. And if you are going to uni in September, then I'm really excited for you. I wish you the best of luck. Let me know in the comments below where you're going. I'd love to have a little chat with you guys. Please also remember to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out, and I'm absolutely loving making videos for you guys at the moment, so I would love to continue doing that. Let me know what videos you would like to see in the future. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!